Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mention It All podcast. I am so excited to be joined today by someone who I think is bringing representation to Bravo for the messy gay community in a way that we really need. The Valley star, Zack Wickham, here. Hello, how are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And I do feel like I do bring the representation for that exact community that you said. So.
Exactly. See, I see you. We see each other. I did say before we started, you are taller than you come across on TV. And I think also just like the presence, I think when somebody's on a TV show and you're just getting to know them like from a two-dimensional angle, it's always interesting to get like the IRL experience.
Yeah, there's a few people or like maybe multiple people online that are like, wow, I met him and he is way taller in person. Or every time that like I'll be out and someone recognizes me, they'll be like, wow, you're so tall. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing on camera that's like shrinking me down? I'm like, do I need to like, start standing up straight? But I need a scoliosis brace or something. But yeah.
I am curious. So we're in season 2 of The Valley now. I think season 1 was kind of like a surprise smash. Like everybody was kind of like, what is this going to be? Oh, wait, we love it. Season 2, what has the experience for you been like as like a Bravo celebrity, like being a person on TV now?
Yeah. See, I knew that season 1 was going to be a smash, and I think all of us on cast did, because even prior to them picking up cameras and filming our life, our friend group is just that dramatic without cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's literally, I'm not even lying. Like that is us, period, all day, every day. Even like in between seasons, there's still so much drama. They could literally do it 24/7 and they would get, season after season in just 1 year. But it's been a really cool experience to be able to just like be yourself on camera, share your life, then have it come out and have people like have opinions on it. It's actually like very surreal, but also very fun.
Fun, but also I imagine like a little bit strange to adjust to, that it's like, oh wait, I'm handling things like in my own way, and then suddenly there's like a million people that are
a million opinions. I will say that is a little jarring when people have such strong opinions, either good or bad. And you're like, wow, okay, this is still, let's remember this is just a TV show, but these are our real lives. So, maybe, calm down a little bit with the, the extreme versions of it.
Yeah.
But in general, I feel like it's been a really fun and like great experience so far.
Was there anything when you watched season 1 back, was there anything where you were like, okay, I'm going to like make a note for myself to like handle this differently, or to like stand a different way? I don't know. I just feel like it's such a, putting a mirror up to yourself in that way is like, it's surreal, like you said, but I'm just wondering, like, was there any like feedback for yourself from season 1?
Going into season 3, I'm clearly going to stand up straighter because nobody understands how tall I am. I'm going to make sure that I stand next to Danny every time. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Danny. No, I feel like, when you watch it back, if you watch it and you say, oh, like, why was I acting like that? Then you probably shouldn't be on reality TV. Or like, if you see yourself in like a moment where you're like, wow, okay. Because I think even Kristen says this, like she's seen herself in past things and was like, wow, let me grow from that. Let me do better. And I think that's where sometimes I'll see myself in scenes and I'll be like, I could have handled that better, meaning just like drink less or just like handled myself better. And I think it kind of gives you a chance to hold up a mirror and actually grow from it. So if you do it in the right way, it can actually be a very positive thing.
Interesting. I'm wondering for you, what was your relationship with reality TV prior to this show coming around? Like, were you an avid watcher? Were there specific shows that you really were drawn to?
What's really funny is I wasn't really the biggest reality fan. I think like old school Bravo, I used to watch with my mom a lot, like Tabitha Takes Over, Flipping Out, the original like Housewives of Atlanta, OC, and Beverly Hills, but the first, I don't know, like 4 to 6 seasons maybe.
Yeah.
And then I kind of like fell off as I got older. Not sure why, it just did. When I moved to LA, it was 9 years ago. I knew Brittany from back home. Right. And when I moved here, that group just became my friend group. So the Vanderpump Rules crew, I just was at every event, and they just became my friends. So I've been around like the filming aspect, but I thought because of that, I like kind of knew what was going on, and I feel comfortable around cameras. but being the actual focus, not just a side, just around, it is a much different experience for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting, like thinking about, because even by the time Brittany was on Vanderpump, it was like the rest of that crew had been doing it for a few
4
years
years.
at that point. And
Yeah.
so it was like, it was new to her too. Like she was kind of the new person on the block and then sort of experiencing it through her. It's like there are kind of those layers. And I think what I enjoyed about the Valley a lot last season was like, of course you have Jax and Brittany and Kristen, who we've known for years from watching them, but like there were like 10 new people who were swimming in this pool for the first time. And watching that, it's like everybody kind of has a different reaction to that exposure.
Well, and how they handle it, and
Yeah.
and also just in situations when you are filming something, are you being authentic and acting like you always would in that situation, or are you being a different version of yourself in that situation? And I think there are certain people that you might get one way or you might get another. So it's very interesting for sure.
Yeah, and being somebody who had relationships with a lot of these people prior, and then you're on camera, it is kind of like, okay, taking stock of like, where does each person fall on that spectrum of like, they're exactly, I know exactly what I'm gonna get, versus like now with some people maybe it feels like there's some like different vibes going on.
Yeah, well, I feel like most of us were new to being like obviously the main focus of a reality show. Most of us had done something either with VPR or like Danny and Nia had done, some other stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously Nia in the pageant world. So you have all these different backgrounds and you're putting them all on a show together, and it is really cool to like see it all play out.
Yeah, it feels like you guys as a cast, there's a lot of you and there are so many different little like nuances, and everybody has their own relationships. And even so far this season, it's been really interesting to think about like, okay, going into the season, you and Kristen both have an issue with Janet, but you and Kristen had different relationships with Janet prior to those issues. And then talking about how that affects your friendships with Brittany, and you have different backgrounds with her. Like everybody really has their own kind of things that they need to figure out and take care of. And I think that it gives us so much to kind of look at and react to every week.
Well, and I think what made Vanderpump Rules so special is you're taking a true group of friends that just happen to be the most dramatic people that you've met, or the like biggest personalities, and you're just filming what they would already be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so with us, these are all our real friends. I've been friends with Janet since since I moved to LA, or actually since she moved, because she moved like 2 years after. Brittany forever, Kristen since I moved here. Each one of them, even like people that are just on Vanderpump Rules. Tom Schwartz is one of my like very close friends. Sheena, even Lala or whatever. Like we're all friends, and we all hang out, or we're all at the events together all the time. So I think you don't get that with a lot of other shows.
Yeah.
And you get that with ours because we have such deep history, which I think it makes the drama that much more rich.
Yeah, it's almost interesting to think about like, if the Valley continues to be on like season after season, like where would you even start if you were trying to like cast people on the show? I'm sure you guys
would
like,
have to be from our friend group.
other
like,
friends
it would have,
and stuff, yeah.
Like if Sheena or Lala or Tom come on in a bigger capacity, it would make sense because they are our friends and we hang out with them. So you could cast from anywhere in our friend group because we all hanging out.
Mm-hmm. At some point, we might need more from Sheena than just being on the phone to confirm that it was the guy from Baywatch.
Well, yes. So, we do have such a large cast. It makes it very hard to, there's going to be different storylines you'll follow more heavily than others. But I think what's great about our cast is that every single person really puts their all into it. And I just mean being authentic and living their life on camera for the audience. And I think that's so important. Mm-hmm. And so same with like Sheena, Lala, and Schwartz. If they want to come on, well, just be ready to live your life as authentically as we're living ours.
Yeah, it's everybody has to, agree to
hold their own.
I think going into this season, obviously there are two couples in the mix that are really going through it. The Brittany and Jax dynamic is front and center.
Going through it is an understatement.
Understatement of the century.
But yes.
Brittany and Jax, Jesse and Michelle, both like supremely messy and complicated in very different ways.
Very different ways.
I'm wondering for you as somebody, obviously you have your own, friendship stuff, which we'll get into, and things that you're going through, but like knowing that these two pairs of people on the show and in your life have these like massive things that they're working through, how do you kind of approach wanting to be there to help, but also to kind of like curious what's going on? Like, what's your kind of way of handling stuff like that in the group?
Well, specifically with Brittany and Jax, I'm Brittany's best friend. I have been around Jax and been his friend since I moved to LA 9 years ago. So I have seen it all. I've been through it all with her. I'm usually the one that's there when nobody else is. I've been there through good and bad. So as far as what happens and transpires with that, I'm just so deeply invested, obviously, that sometimes I'm going to be a lot more harsh than people might not understand why I am having that reaction. But it's because of, again, the history that I have with this person and knowing them so well. And I'm not just talking about Brittany, I'm talking about Jax too.
Yeah, I think you could sense that, especially in the episode where Brittany and Jax had that kind of big confrontation before he was going off to his treatment program. Like, even Brittany really making some tough decisions in the moment of like, how much am I going to say right now? How honest am I going to be? If, I have all of these years of things floating around in my mind that some of them I've said, some of them I haven't, there's some elephants in the room, really like figuring out kind of how to share that. And you having been around for so much of that, also kind of being like, okay, like how are we framing this in a way that's honest, but also like, there's like a child involved and it's a marriage and families and it's really complicated.
It's super complicated. But I think the one thing that also kind of sets our show apart from others is that it is almost honest to a fault. Like you're seeing everything for exactly the way it is. And there is no holding back anymore. And I think it's like this raw view that you really haven't gotten in a lot of shows in the past. And so some people are like, oh, it's so dark and whatever. Well, it's real life. And you're actually seeing the things that maybe other shows might be hiding. We're laying it all on the table. And one thing I want to say about Brittany is when you see her handle Jax in that situation, that is one of the most proud moments I've ever had of her, because she held her ground. She didn't let him walk all over her. She made sure she was forceful and got her point across, because sometimes like Jax has that overpowering way and deflecting and whatever, but like Brittany did it. And I commend her for having to live all of this on camera and having to deal with someone like Jax who, sometimes he's great and sometimes he's difficult, which you will see all season, the ups and the downs. But yeah, it's just we're letting it all hang out there, truthfully.
Man, and this week's episode in Santa Barbara, the stream of texts that she's getting as he is like at therapy and then gets his phone back for 15 minutes. It's like, I can't imagine just having like, even if some of the texts are nice, some of the texts are mean, some of it's, crazy accusations, whatever, just like having to deal with the constant like ping of that person. Like it's a lot to deal with. And really thinking of that throughout this season, like that has to be weighing so heavily on her.
100%. And I hope people see that, he's in rehab, but he isn't involved with the filming. So he knows that we're filming. Yeah. And so then he rage texts to make sure that somehow he's a part of that drama. It's like that. I won't go into too many details or anything else, because I need to make sure I watch what I say, because I do have, my handler here. But, the thing about him, the rage, it's just so prevalent. I was like, what Temu rehab are you going to that you have no rehab have I ever heard of in my life? Do you get your phone?
Thank you. I was wondering this.
Trust me, we all were. We're like, what spa are you at that is, and he, not only that, he got an hour out every day with a person taking him places. So he could go back to the house, which you will see later. He could, do things that like no rehab does that. And I think in this episode you see him say, well, my wife didn't come visit me. This didn't happen, whatever. Okay, well, number one, you were only there for 30 days, so chill the fuck out. Number two, also it's rehab. How about you work on yourself and then we'll see you in 30 days.
The thing for me is like, obviously, there are different types of programs and everybody needs a different level of whatever. I'm not an expert on that, but it's like, if you're at an inpatient facility like that and it's so front of mind still to be texting and complaining and, spewing and whatever, it's just so clear that
in between sessions,
you're not actually taking that time to really take a step back and like work on yourself.
Right.
And that's just what frustrates me, because it's like, Kristen and Nia were here a couple weeks ago and we're talking about the idea of that it's like Brittany shouldn't be like proud of Jax that he's
correct,
doing what he needs to do, but it's like, I don't even think he is doing what he needs to do. Like, that doesn't make me think that he's going to get better.
I mean, you just said it all right there.
Yeah.
My thing is again, I've known Jax you'll see other people have opinions and they've had shorter friendships with him than I've had.
Yeah.
And they haven't seen some of the actual things that I've been through or that Brittany's been through with him. But I've seen him change in the past. That's why I could confidently stand up there at their wedding and support and be there for them.
Yeah. Because
I've been there for both of them and, for them as like a couple. And I've seen him go through different changes in his life. And I'm not seeing the Jax that changed in the past. He's not doing the things that I would have thought, okay, he's definitely going to do this if he's going to show change. And he just hasn't really done that. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be a person to stand idly by and be like, oh, here, let me give you your cookie or your like participation trophy. Like, no, I'm sorry. You have to do better or show me that you're doing better to get that from me.
What was being at that wedding like?
Oh, it was the best. Oh my God, it was the greatest. It was
like Lance Bass officiating.
Lance Bass officiating. It was just so much fun. It was all of our friends, because like Brittany and I know each other from back home again, so it's all the people that I know from Kentucky too. Yeah. So it was just one big party. It was 3 days long. It was the greatest. And then, we have, not only do we have Hooter Girls with like the wings as our pre-appetizer thing, then when we have like the reception, Lance Bass is dancing to Bye 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 with all of us. Like, I mean, in what world? Do you know what I mean?
Dream.
In a castle in Kentucky. Like, it was so much fun though. It was the best.
Wow. If I could be a fly on the wall at any wedding, it might be Brittany and Jax's.
Oh, there was so much that happened at that wedding. It was just so great. But it was the best time ever. It was so much fun.
Okay, I want to talk about Jesse and Michelle too, because they're really something to watch this season. Just like the things that are being thrown back and forth, the whole energy between them is so toxic in such a, like, I can't look away. It's like a car crash. What is that like? I mean, I know. So where are you kind of between the two of them with like friendship levels, would you say?
So I've known Michelle before a lot of people knew Michelle. Like, Michelle was friends with Brittany and Kristen and was very close with them, as was I. I wasn't as close as them, obviously, but like we were pretty close. Like, we would see each other at a lot of things and maybe not have individual hangouts, but we were close when we were at group things.
Yeah. And
I really never knew Jesse before. Like, I knew him for years, but like he never took the time to like talk to me.
Interesting.
So I think you see our relationship evolve, because now Jesse does have this way of owning his stuff or like admitting when he's doing something. Like you saw in episode 1 where it straight up admits like, well, yeah, I'm doing this to like fuck with Michelle. And then it's like, well, he owned it. So like, am I that mad? But yes, like he shouldn't be doing that to Michelle, obviously. And anytime you're making a custody battle harder, come on, dude. So there's times where I'm like, you have to stop doing that. And I definitely hold him accountable for that. But I mean, He's great.
He's
and
he's a very charming guy.
He's very charming. But I don't fall for charming though.
Okay.
Because like I will call you out on your BS, and I do, but I think he likes that about me. So we've actually like kind of started to like kindle or start a friendship for the first time.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think he has bad intentions sometimes, good intentions others, and yeah, but them together, sometimes it's tit for tat. Like they'll just go back and forth, and
yeah,
it's hard to take sides because I really just don't take sides on that battle either way.
It swings so wildly that at Janet's party at Dave and Buster's, which I know you were not in attendance.
I was not.
It's like we're talking about this rumor that Michelle's been sleeping with the billionaire for $1,500 a night, which like I felt bad for her. She's very upset about that. And then she's going around trying to get people to vote Jesse out of the Santa Barbara trip that he has put together. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's
not the solution.
I don't think that makes sense either.
Right. So that's so you see what I deal with.
Right.
So yeah. And had I been at that Dave and Buster's party, Janet's party, I would have also voted that Jesse, like, I'm sorry, it's his trip. Like, sorry that he did this to you. He shouldn't have. But obviously no one like truly believes it. So sometimes you just have to like, don't give it power. But unfortunately in this group, we give everything power. So we're not great with not doing that.
I think Janet might have forgiven you quicker if you just went to Dave and Buster's and won her like 50,000 tickets or something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She would have.
She'd be like, what was I mad about?
She was like, I don't care. If I would have handed her anything, Dave and Buster's, she would have been like, done.
Talk me through this conversation that you guys have in Santa Barbara. You could tell that it was really weighing on you a lot to kind of get this over with and to really try and move forward. What was your did you know going into that weekend that it was going to be important to you to have that conversation?
The thing is, we've had semi-conversations. We've had some little things, but this has been weighing for so long. But it wasn't just what kind of last season was about or last summer, but it was also so much on top of that. So like my emotions going into this weekend were on like 1,000 because I just wanted resolution for it, but I wanted to actually talk through it and get all of our points across so that we could actually move forward. Mm-hmm. And I think that was very important to me, to have that conversation, but to also have the conversation in the right manner where it's productive and neither of us are like, leaving the conversation and feeling like, well, I didn't get it all out, so now I'm still mad. I wanted it to be like, let's get it all out and let's actually move forward. That was like my intention with it, which was very hard. And you can like see like that conversation was very long, and had like a lot of levels to it because of what it was actually about.
Yeah. Nia gets called in for emotional support at one point.
Well, and the thing, like she was right. I saw her and I was just like, Nia, and like we had rode together to Santa Barbara, and I mentioned that I was going to have this conversation, and she said, if you need reinforcement, like I'll be there. And she just so happened to be like right in my eyesight, and I was like, Nia, how about you come here, please? And I was like squeezing her hand because I was just trying to like calm down my emotions.
It's like you need somewhere to like channel your energy into.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that Nia seems to me to have that energy where like if you're like good with her, like she seems like a very solid, like calming presence.
Oh, absolutely. I've said 1,000 times that like Benji, my boyfriend, is like Nia. They're very much the same. Before I had Benji, Nia I would be like, you just tell me when I need to like, I was like, I need a Nia because she like holds me accountable or like pulls me out of situation or like calms me down or like holds my hand or whatever. And I've always said like the way her and Danny's relationship is, I think is the way relationships should be, like no relationship's perfect, but the way they have their dynamic is like really amazing.
So do we feel like, obviously don't want to spoil anything, but conversation with Janet, do we feel like this apology will maybe stick a little better than last season's apology?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I will say that it definitely was a way better conversation, and I felt like we did move forward in a lot of ways in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be a long season.
Well, also I was like, is this before or after the episode?
We've
Sorry.
we've got a reunion coming.
I know.
I'm not trying to get you in
first
trouble. Your
one.
first one was like, what was your vibe just like going into that? Were you like excited or like nervous?
I will tell you, I was so excited. I was like, I'm ready for this. And I also I specifically made sure that I didn't ask Brittany or Kristen, you know, what to expect or how it was. And yes, I've seen reunions in the past, like with certain seasons of Housewives or with Vanderpump Rules, obviously. But I'd never actually experienced it. It is a whole nother ball game when you are in that
long day.
In there doing the long day, putting in the work and whatever. It is a different way of, I should have asked. I should have prepared better. I thought I was prepared. I was absolutely not. I was crazy for thinking I was prepared.
You're like, I thought I watched the show.
I swear I blacked out. It was like crazy. Okay, like I couldn't remember.
We'll all discover it together.
Yes, we will.
And and I think this time you might be responsible for things you say when you blacked out.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, obviously I was sober this time. So, I mean, even when I take responsibility, I know where we're going. I take responsibility for what I say when I also am drinking. That's not like, I don't brush that off as like, oh, I didn't, you know, like it's just whatever. So, but you'll see. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned your boyfriend Benji.
Yeah.
We've gotten to meet him on FaceTime so far this season. What was it like kind of bringing that aspect of your life onto the show a little bit more this year?
I mean, they always say if you don't want your relationship to work, like obviously bring it on reality TV. So, no, but I thought like I kind of threw him into the wolves because I was like, hey, so because when we started dating, he really didn't understand or know that I was on a reality show. Okay. And then I was like, okay, well, now that we're actually dating and like we're getting serious, you kind of have to decide if you want to be a part of this because this is part of my life and I want, like, I'm not going to be fake with that. And so he agreed to like be, you know, film with us. And I think it's been the greatest because he's not one of those people that's seeking. He's an optometrist.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like this is
like
not his
job.
wheelhouse. Yeah, exactly.
Like a career.
This isn't his wheelhouse. And it's so funny. He always says he just like eats in the background of everything, just like because he didn't know most of the people. But I'm really, really glad that I got to bring him on, and you'll see our dynamic. And it's like he's the cutest, and yeah, I just think it's so. I'm glad that I get to showcase my relationship.
I love that.
And also like a gay relationship on national TV. Well, I think is like really important.
Yeah, like with a show like this, there's a lot of people in the cast. There's only so many episodes. It's like it's gonna take time to really feel like you know every side of every person. And so I think it's exciting that in season 2, it's like we have a few more episodes where we know we've established kind of who everyone is. Like we can sort of have more of those different like textures, which I think is really exciting.
I also feel like I want to thank the audience because like they are willing to kind of take that journey with us and, you know, give us a little leeway or like, oh, a lot of the comments were like, oh, I didn't really like him at first because of his hair or because of whatever, but like now like he's growing on me or whatever. So I feel like as people get to know me better and know who I really am and my intentions and my friendships, they'll see the real me, and hopefully, which they have so far, at least I feel like they've given me the benefit of the doubt to wait till make their final judgment.
Yeah, you're like a little bit more of a fully formed person in their mind. Our new segment, inspired by the legendary Tamra Judge, where we hold space for our strongest reality TV hot takes and personal beliefs. We're each going to have 60 seconds to get activated about our opinions, and you can let us know in the comments whether you agree. I will go first and share my opinion, and then Zach, you can follow me. Can I get 60 seconds? Okay, my opinion is that The Valley does not need to be on the same production schedule as every other Bravo show. I think we should do The Valley like they do Big Brother. Everybody should be being filmed all the time. And then we can watch an episode at the end of the week where they throw together whatever happened, because I just seeing it a year later and then it's only like 15 episodes. Like I need to know what's happening in real time. Like if Jax is texting Brittany from, the break from therapy at his Temu rehab, like I want to know about that when it's happening. I want to see Brittany and Janet getting Taco Bell together. I want to know who's at Dave and Buster's. Like I need to know what's happening in real time. And I feel like we aren't getting enough Valley content, and waiting from season 1 to season 2, it felt like a long wait. And I know that that's like a normal wait for a Bravo show, but I just think there's something with you guys. Like you said, we could be filming 100 episodes a year, and I don't think that it would be too many. And that is my opinion.
And that is also an opinion we're like, not that I don't know if we could emotionally handle.
Oh yeah,
that much,
no,
but,
that would be tough.
But you know what? But you are correct. Like you could film us at other time. We could follow a different schedule, and you could have like 3 seasons a year or
yeah,
whatever.
I'm gonna watch like on a live feed.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be like Jax watching the cameras.
It's too real. It's too real. That hurts.
60 seconds, Zach.
Okay, we'll try.
No pressure.
So mine is about the Traitors. Basically, I feel like there's not enough Traitors. I feel like we need to have either more people on cast, definitely more Bravo celebrities, maybe like a Bravo only one, and then maybe like other reality stars on another one, and then also a civilian one for America, because that English one and the Australian one, those civilians, they crazy, and I love it. So I definitely think we need that for the Traitors, and then also, yeah, we either need a house. Oh my God, imagine a Housewives only. The drama. Or like a Valley only one, or like Valley and Vanderpump one. Oh my God, we would tear each other a lot, but it would be the greatest. Like however many episodes of TV, it would be awesome. But or maybe trade off every other season. I don't know. There just needs to be more Traitors, because Traitors is the greatest show besides The Valley to exist in reality show TV history.
And that's your opinion.
And that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
There we go. So we're doing 100 episodes a year of The Valley and 100 episodes a year of Traitors.
Yeah, because you have to. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but you guys could do, like on Orange County last season, they like played Traitors at one of their parties because like Tamara was on it. So I feel like next season on The Valley, you could do a little like Traitors game night maybe. Or just cast it on Traitors.
No, number one, this is my official bid to be on Traitors at some point. Thank you. In the future. But yeah, we could do that on our show. I feel like, I don't know if it would end well, but you know what? It would be good TV, so maybe we should.
Michelle would be like, Jesse's the traitor. If you don't vote him out.
That's what I'm saying. It would be over in 4 seconds.
If you don't vote him out, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Well, you've given me a lot to think about. Fan casting Traitors, I think, is one of the like highest art forms that we have right now.
I also feel like RuPaul's Drag Race, like they need more drag. Like Bob
Yes.
was amazing. Peppermint didn't get her moment, and there are so many others that I think would thrive in that environment.
Less of these like straight men from the challenge and more drag queens and people from the Valley.
1000%.
Amazing. Well, Zach, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Congrats. Can't wait to see the rest of the season. Can't wait to see the reunion and, maybe the live feeds for next season.
Oh, yeah, I'll get on that.
Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And until next time, be cool. Don't be all like uncool.